माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनावल्लभा यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोधानन्दन यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोधानन्दन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरा यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Chapter 31. Chapter 30. Verse number 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So chapter number 30 is entitled The Activities of the Prachetas. Viduro Vacha Etvaya Bhita Brahman Sutaha Prachina Bharhishaha Te Rudragitena Harim Siddhim Apu Pratoshyakam Vidaro Vacha Etvaya Bhita Brahman Sutaha Prachina Barhishaha Te Rudragitena Harim Siddhimapu Pratoshakam Vidaro Vacha Etvaya Bhita Brahman Suta Prachina Barhishaha Te Rudragitena Harim Siddhim Apu Pratoshakam. Viduro Vacha ये त्वया विहिता ब्रह्मन्
सुता प्राचीनबर्हिषः सुता प्राचीनबर्हिषः ते रुद्रगीतेन हरिं सिद्धिम् आपो प्रतोष्यकाम् विदुरोवाच ये त्वया पीता ब्राह्मन् सुता प्राचीनबर्हिषः ते रुद्रगीतेन हरिं सिद्धिम् आपो प्रतोष्यकाम् विदुरोवाच ये त्वया
विहिता ब्रह्मन् सुतां प्राचीनबर्हिषः ते रुद्रगीतेन हरिं सिद्धिमापो प्रतोष्यकाम्। माताजी विदुरोवाच ये त्वया विहिता ब्रह्मन् सुता प्राचीनबर्हिषः What word meaning? Vidurovacha. Vidura said, Ye, those who, Tvaya, by you, Abhihitaha, were spoken about, Brahman, O Brahmana, Sutaha, sons, Prachina Barhishaha, of King Prachina Barhi. They, all of them, Rudra Gitena, by the song composed by Lord Shiva. Harim, the Lord. Siddhim, success. Apuhu, achieved. Pratoshya, having satisfied. Kam, what? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O Brahmana, you formerly spoke about the sons of Prachini Barhi and informed me that they satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting a song composed by Lord Shiva. What did they achieve in this way? In the beginning, Maitreya Rishi narrated the activities of the sons of Prachina Barhi. These sons went beside a great lake, which was like an ocean. And fortunately, finding Lord Shiva, they learned how to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting the songs composed by Lord Shiva. Now their father's attachment for fruity activities were disapproved by Narada, who therefore kindly instructed Prachina Barhi by telling him the allegorical story of Puranjana. Now Vidura again wanted to hear about Prachina Barhi's sons, and he was especially inquisitive to know what they achieved by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here the words Siddhimapuhu, or achieved perfection, are very important. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidyatati siddhai. Out of many, many millions of people, one may be interested in learning how to attain success in spiritual matters. The supreme success is mentioned also in Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Mamapetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world. It is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. And what is that highest perfection? That is also explained in that verse. The highest perfection is to return home back to Godhead, so that one will not have to return to this material world and transmigrate from one body to another in the dream of material existence. By the grace of Lord Shiva, the Prachetas actually attained perfection and returned home back to Godhead. After enjoying material facilities to the highest extent, Maitreya will now narrate that to Vidura. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratase Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Kurti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatrupatama Mande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Vishwaram. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O Brahmana, you formally spoke about the sons of Prachini Barhi and informed me that they satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting the song composed of by Lord Shiva. What did they achieve in this way? So here, in this fourth canto Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Puranjana very elaborately was described, and that led to the deliverance of Prachini Varishad. Prachini Varishad is a very famous king coming in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. So all he is in a very great dynasty, but he was attached to materialistic activities. So Narada Muni felt compassion, and then he gave so much of time. Imagine one-on-one preaching for so many chapters, so many months we are discussing this. And Narada Muni was patiently telling him all this. Such a long bridge preaching, no? Sometimes bridge becomes very long, but as long as the result is good, preaching technique is good. But he came to the point. He explained the story of Puranjana, and then he came to the point. Puranjana, Prachini Parishad understood, I am that Puranjana. I am that souls in this body trying to enjoy with the intelligence, right? So the living entity, when he forgets Krishna, comes to this material world and then start identifying with this body. Then things connected with this body to be mine. Aham mameti, the samsara increases, right? So the jiva accepts husband, wife, then the family, then property, then there is land and so many things. So the illusion of me and mine continues. And then finally the death comes and then it takes away everything. But people live in this world as if they're never going to die. But devotees should live as if we are going to die the next moment. So materialistic people are in illusion. They think that I will live eternally and they are trying to enjoy this material world. So this story cuts off the attachments, removes the illusion. So Prachini Parishad heard this whole story, he didn't understand, then he again asked questions, then he tried to understand, and when his understanding became very, very clear, he did not wait for a moment even in home. He didn't wait, he just walked out. Isn't it? So this is the power of preaching of a pure devotee, Narada Muni. So Narada, when he spoke this, and Parashar Maharshi left. In the presence of his ministers, the saintly King Parashar Maharshi left orders for his sons to protect the citizens. He then left home and went off to undergo austerities in a holy place known as Kapilashrama. He goes to Bay of Bengal, where Ganga meets the ocean. That place is called Kapila Tirtha, Kapilashrama. So there he went. And he didn't even wait for his sons to return. Right? He didn't even hand over the power. So that is the important lesson here. That when Krishna calls, nothing else can wait. Family, friends, wealth, job, nothing can wait. If Krishna calls, just leave. Saradharman parityajya, mamekam sharanam vraja. Leave everything and then run towards Krishna. And once one devotee was giving a class, then he put a question. He said, if Krishna comes to you right now and says, Prabhu, aeroplane is ready, please come. Aeroplane is ready, but are you ready? Are we ready? No. Still no. Right? So it's very difficult to answer in such a setting because we don't understand the intensity of it. When Krishna calls, are we ready? But there were some people who were not ready. You know the story of Kailash? Narada Muni came and told Kailash, my dear Kailash, I have got a Vaikuntha pass. Anybody, I can take anybody. So you come with me. Then Kailash said, oh, I'm so busy. I have to take care of my business, my children are small, I have to look after their education and so many things. And Narada Muni said, okay, I think you're too busy, I'll come later. After many years, he again went back. And Kailash was now with grey hair, old, and his children had grown up. Now at least you come. Then Kailash said, no, I'm very, very busy. These children are very irresponsible. So much property I have given to them. They are simply squandering it, they are wasting it. I have to be here to take care of all this. So I am very busy now. Then these grandchildren are there. Such a nice association I have. This is Vaikuntha. Right? Playing with them. It gives me so much pleasure. How can I leave this? I'll come later. The next life he became a dog protecting that same building. Then he died. The dog also died. Then he became a snake. Then in snake body again Narada Muni came. Come. At least now you come. No, my children is irresponsible. Right? There's so much plants we have grown here. Then rats are coming and eating and cows are coming and eating. They don't take care, so I have to take care. I'm the security guard here. Then Narada Muni said, this is too much. So much attachment. Even I am coming and telling, come, he is not coming. So then Narada Muni said, Lathon ka bhut, baaton se nahi maante, isko lat khilana padega. So then he went and told his sons, in your courtyard there is snake and your children are playing. Then they took the sticks and started beating the snake. And that snake is telling, hey, main tumhara baap hu, I am your father. They didn't understand the language. So then he was beaten badly. All bones were broken. There were injuries on his body. Then Narada said, now you realize nobody is yours. You think that they are your children, but nobody is yours. As soon as you die, the connection is cut. The attachments are like that only. As long as you feel connection to something, you are attached to it. When you don't have connection to it, you get disconnected from it. No attachment to it. Like one person was owning a cow. He was taking care of the cow very nicely. But some situation came where he had to sell the cow to somebody else to get some money. So he sold the cow to somebody, and that fellow was taking care. Because the cow was accustomed to this home, one day after grazing, it came back to the home, the old person's, means previous person's home, and started eating all the garden, whatever grasses and plants. And this fellow came and said, "Hey, the cow is eating." He took the stick and beat the cow, drove it away. Yes, it was his own cow before, but now he has sold it to someone, so that attachment has become cut. Similarly, in this life, one develops certain relationships, certain attachments to home, right? But atagraha kshetra sutapta vittahi, all these attachments are there. But when we change the body, all that is gone. One develops another new set of attachments. You can see in your own life also, friends in school, with whom you are sitting and eating and talking. Where is that attachment? Gone. Because you changed your place, they went to somewhere else. And so you may not even remember their faces also. Why? Because things have changed. Your subtle body has changed. Your desires, aspirations have changed. And Dronacharya and Drupada, they were good friends in school, but after some time, Drupada's attitudes changed. And he failed to recognize Dronacharya. Who are you? You're a poor man. How can I have friendship with you? Get lost. Dronacharya had come to take help because he was very poor. There's nothing at home to eat. So he went and asked, "Please, you're my friend. You had promised that you'll give me a portion of your property, your land." He said, "No, how can there be friendship between rich and the poor? Get lost." So sometimes the attachments change because they're all temporary. Right? And this temporary attachment gives rise to sukha, dukkha, matra sparshas kaunteya, shita ushna, sukha dukkha. These attachments and contact with sense objects give rise to pain, pleasure and all these things. So that's why Bhagavatam 4th canto is teaching us the lessons of detachment. Not just one or two, again and again and again. Vidura himself is an example for that. Right? When family situation became intense, he just walked out. And Duryodhana insulted Vidura. Vidura didn't stay a moment, he walked out. He came to Maitreya and took association of Maitreya Muni. Uddhava himself, in the beginning chapters of 3rd canto, you heard that how he also renounced and he was staying at Prabhasha. And from there he went to Badrikashram. Right? So in the beginning of this canto, you heard the story of Prithu Maharaj, how before that Dhruv Maharaj also, how Dhruv Maharaj, he went to the forest and attained the darshan of the Lord. Then Uttanapada, seeing the transformation of Dhruva, Uttanapada also renounced. Even before Dhruva's marriage, Uttanapada was out. He didn't even consider that to be a responsibility, although it is a responsibility of him. Pious persons generally think that getting sons and daughters married is important. But Uttanapada felt, "Hare, my own self-realization is very important. So let me focus on that." Isn't it? So, and even before, after Uttanapada comes another great king whose name was Anga, whose son was Vena. Vena became the cause of detachment for Anga Maharaj. Anga Maharaj left home. Then Anga Maharaj left home, then Vena became king and Vena was killed by the sages, and then Prithu Maharaj was born. Then Prithu Maharaj also became a great king. Then he also renounced. And then in his dynasty comes Prachini Parishad. Prachini Parishad renounced. So you see so many stories of renunciation, starting from Vidura, Uddhava, right, Dhruva, Anga, and then Pruthu, then Prachini Parishad. So Vidura is listening to all these stories. Vidura is listening attentively to all these stories. So then he immediately remembered, Prachetas also had gone, what happened to them? What perfection they achieved? So Vidura is very attentive. Shri Shri Radha Vinod ji ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Balesudra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Nityananda Natwar Gaur Sundar ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Vidura is asking, what happened? Long back you told me the story of Prachetas. Many chapters back it was being told. So what happened to them? You told me that they got association of Rudra. And Rudra gave them the Rudra Gita, the shlokas glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you told me that they went into the lake and they were chanting this Rudra Gita. What happened after that? So that's the question. What kind of perfection they attained? Siddhim Apuhu. What kind of perfection they achieved? So that's what he wanted to listen. So then Maitreya continues to explain the story of Prachetas, the 10 glorious sons who had gone to do tapasya in the lake. Somewhere in South India they had gone to do a tapasya inside the water. For 10,000 years they were doing austerities. So incredible austerities. Right? So the Lord became very pleased with them, and then Lord gave darshan to them. So all that beautiful descriptions will come in the further shlokas. Right? So in this chapter, basically you will see that how Prachetas chanted the Rudra Gita, and the Lord appeared to the Prachetas. The Lord gave darshan, a beautiful darshan to the Prachetas. Prachetas offered obeisances and the glorifications to the Supreme Lord, and then Prachetas request for benedictions. They ask certain desires from the Lord. What desires will they have? Their only desire is to hear Krishna Katha and glorify the Supreme Lord. So that's what they ask for. So then Lord orders them. So there's no ruler now, so you go and rule. And then they marry Marisha and then Marisha, and then they rule the kingdom, and then they get a son called Daksha. Okay, and then Prachetas also renounce. So in this way, the story is concluded in this 30th and 31st chapter. 30th chapter talks about the activities of Prachetas, and the 31st chapter talks about the instructions of Narada Muni. Yeah, they again meet Narada Muni. Prachetas admits Lord Shiva, and they attend darshan of Lord Vishnu. But when the time of renunciation came, Narada Muni came. And he gave further instructions. And then Prachetas also departed. So you will see that in this world there is Vedas talk about pravritti and nivritti. There are certain sections of Vedas talking about pravritti. Pravritti means how to expand one's material life. So that is pravritti marga, which is generally karma kanda marga. Right? Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, all those material benedictions to attain, going to heavens, enjoying. So that kind of instructions are also given. That's called pravritti. So generally for grahasthas, that pravritti marga is recommended. And once they complete all the duties, material duties, then nivritti marga, path of vanaprastha, path of sannyasa is recommended. So at every point in life, certain kind of instructions have to be given. And there are certain experts who are in that subject matter, they give those instructions. So Narada Muni is expert in the process of bhakti and in the process of renunciation, because he is a sannyasi. So whenever there is a opportunity, he tries to preach and bring people closer to Krishna by cutting their material bonds. Right? So can you give some examples of Narada Muni's preaching, strong preaching? and how they, some I told already, but apart from this, any other? Daksha sons, yeah. That will come in the 6th canto, where this Daksha's sons, Daksha marries many wives, and then got children, 10,000 children. They are called Haryashas. And all 10,000 they go to do tapasya. And when they went to do tapasya, then Narada Muni came for one-time program. So then he gave a powerful session. It's just hardly 10 shlokas. And that too he didn't speak directly, he just spoke an allegory, metaphors. There is a chakra which is rotating with double-edged swords, and then there is a river flowing in both directions, and then there is a hole entering which nobody returns. The spiritual world. Yadgatva ananivartante. And there is a kingdom, there is only one king. Right? So all these kind of metaphors he gives. And they are so intelligent at that time. They understood. Just by telling these metaphors, they understood the meanings. And they said, yes, now we are enlightened. So we'll continue our tapasya here only. And will not get entangled in material life. And Narada Muni said, wonderful. But Daksha became very upset. 10,000 sons gone. So, but then he produced another lot, second batch, 1,000 sons. And Daksha knew the importance of tapasya. So he told, without being trained, you can't take care of the responsibilities of kingdom. So Gurukula training is very important. So you go and do tapasya. And then they all went to do tapasya. In the western direction they went. And then again Narada Muni came. This time preaching was very easy. Where are your elder brothers? So they are doing tapasya in the Himalayas somewhere. So as obedient brothers, you should also follow your elder brothers. Oh yes, sir. And 1,000 of them, they also went. And then they attained perfection. See, Narada Muni's preaching was perfect. He gave them the highest thing. The highest thing which is not available in the material world, that thing he gave them. But Daksha became upset. You are doing violence. Daksha said to Narada Muni, you are doing violence. You are not allowing them to enjoy this material world. If they don't enjoy this material world, how will they understand that this is miserable? So that's why their realization will not be strong. So that's why they should go through this materialistic life. They should experience, and after experiencing that this is insignificant, it is frustrating, it is pain-giving, and when they give up at that time, then that will be stable. So that was Daksha's argument. Is it correct? Correct? No. Maybe he has read that section. Right? So Prabhupada says that if suffering can give rise to Krishna consciousness, then so many people in this world are suffering. Hospital is full of patients. Right? You go to mental hospitals full of patients. Does it give rise to bhakti? Just material frustration doesn't give rise to bhakti. Association of devotees gives rise to bhakti. So that's why one should take association of devotees, and one should when that frustration comes, if there is association, then it will help us to go faster in bhakti. But just material miseries and frustration will not lead us to spiritual enlightenment. Getting? So, I think some new people have come first time. You can just see outside. So, just material frustration will not give rise to bhakti. One has to have association of devotees, and association of devotees like Narada Muni is very, very essential to help us come closer to Krishna. So that's why Narada gave the highest thing, but still Daksha, because he was materially attached, he could not understand that such a higher thing he has given. So that's why 10,000 plus 1,000 they got delivered. Any other example of Narada? Wonderful preaching, huh? Murgari, he was a sinful person, was attached to his profession of killing. And for what purpose he was doing that? He was doing it for family only. And he was half killing animals and also, but Narada Muni delivered them. So he also became a Mahabhagavat, great devotee. He left all sinful activities. He was so sensitive that he did not even harm an ant. Such a transformation of Narada Muni. And both husband and wife, both they renounced. They renounced their work, they renounced their home, they came on the bank of a river, built a small hut, put tulsi plant, and then started chanting continuously. So, wonderful transformation. Right? Valmiki is another example. He was doing thievery, stealing, and all those things. And he was told by Narada Muni, you're doing it for whom? For family, okay. Go and check with your family. Will they accept part of your karma? Family people said, no, it's your duty to maintain us, so why should we accept your part of karma? So we will not do it. Then that gave rise to detachment in the heart of Valmiki. Then he followed the instruction, Narada, he chanted Ram Nam, of course, name of Mara, Mara, Mara. So, and then that purified him. See, the instruction of devotees is so powerful that even if you chant Mara, 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 still it works. So that's the power of pure devotees. Because the principle of obedience to devotee is following. So because he is obedient, he became transformed. Correct? Mrigari also, he had faith in Narada's words. Narada told, break the bow. He broke the bow. He had faith. First thing is faith. Then one follows instructions. Then one further advances. Isn't it? So in this way, Narada Muni, extraordinary preacher, and he is preaching Nivritti Marga, Bhakti Shakti. Right? Bhakti is a process of Jnana and Vairagya. It automatically comes. So if somebody has Bhakti, then Jnana and Vairagya are the children of Bhakti. So automatically he will be renounced towards material pleasures, and he will also be knowledgeable about the soul and Paramatma. All that knowledge will come to him. So Vidura is inquisitive. He is asking the question, Ye tvaya abhita brahman, whatever you have spoken about Sutaha Prachina Barhishaha, about the sons of Prachini Barhishad. Te Rudragitena Harimapu Pratoshakam. Right? So they attained the Supreme Lord. What did they achieve in this way? Yeah. What did they achieve? What perfection they achieved? So that's what Vidura is inquisitive about. So we also are sometimes inquisitive when devotees meet each other. Prabhu, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? How did you attain this perfection? That we are eager to know. So similarly, Vidura is also eager to know what happened to the Prachetas, how did they achieve perfection. Because by hearing the success stories of others, we get inspired. Even business people also, they get inspiration from other businessmen. So that's why when they go to such business conclaves and all, they learn from each other, they get inspired from each other. And if somebody is having a low time in business, by seeing other success, they get inspired. Hum bhi karenge. So we'll try these new techniques. So they get inspired. Similarly, by hearing the stories of other devotees, we get inspired. What ups and downs they went through, what challenges they faced, what obstacles they faced, what temptations they faced, how they overcame all these things, and then how they became preachers of Krishna consciousness or practitioners of Krishna consciousness. That's very inspiring. There is a whole episodes of Prabhupada disciples where they are sharing how they met Prabhupada and how they surrendered to Prabhupada and then continued to serve in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. That's very inspiring. There's a whole YouTube channel on that, Prabhupada Memories. It's called Prabhupada Memories. So they're sharing their realizations. So here Vidura, he is asking this question. Now their father's attachment for fruitive activities was disapproved by Narada, who therefore kindly instructed Prachini Barhi by telling him the allegorical story of Puranjana. Okay. Now Prachina Barhi was attached to sacrifices, right? Doing yajnas. And while doing yajnas, His desire was karmakanda, his desire was material gratification. So that was disapproved by Narada. And when Narada spoke this, Prachini Parishad got enlightened. He said, nobody told me this. Everybody, all of my ministers and all of my gurus, they only told that you should do yajnas so that you go to heaven and enjoy material pleasure. But nobody told me the reality of this material world. Actually, even after telling Purijan's story, Prachini Parishad didn't understand. He told another story, right? There is a garden, then there is a deer, then there is a tiger, then there is a hunter, right? So tiger is and hunter are compared to death, and one is enjoying the pleasures in this garden. So death can come at any time. So immediately take to Krishna consciousness. That was the urgency of Narada's preaching, right? So Narada didn't want to postpone the surrender. He said, now, surrender now, immediately. But Prachini Parishad thought, I will do it later. Let my children come, let they take up the kingdom, then I will surely do this. I will surely do this one day, That's what he was telling. But Narada said, no. He was persistent. He told now only. And he was ready to spend more time till he understands this. So then he understood it. Then he attained the perfection, Prachini Parishad. So that's how intense preaching of... Even Prabhupada preached like that. If you see Prabhupada's preaching in initial days, there was no part-time devotee. Everybody was full-time devotee during Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada was so intense. Prabhupada preached this pure principle, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mahamekam Sharanam. Just give up everything, chant Hare Krishna, and stay in temple, do service, everything will be taken care. So at that time, every temple was filled with 100, 200 devotees in the initial days. And they were all young, at 19, 20, 25, that range. And they were all doing Sankirtan, collecting, distributing books, collecting money, then printing books, doing Nagar Sankirtan, bus parties. So many services they were doing, full-time devotees. So many full-time devotees are not there now. Now there are many, because at that time nobody had a job. They gave up their job, they gave up their degree, they gave up whatever they were doing, they just joined. Right? They had faith that no, Krishna will take care. So that was the surrender at that time, in the initial days of ISKCON. So as long as Prabhupada was there, that intensity was there. But later on what happened? Then people started taking home near temple, they got married, then they're taking near temple. Prabhupada's time, both husband and wife, both were full-time. There's no part-time. Brahmacharis also full-time were there. Grahasthas also full-time. Vanaprasthas were not there at that time. And Prabhupada was sannyasi and other sannyasis were there. So all full-time devotees were there. So that's why mission expanded so fast. Otherwise it's not possible to expand. In 11 years to expand so fast all over the world, it's impossible. It's only possible if there are like dedicated full-time devotees. And it is said that they were so dedicated that they did such wonderful services which can't be replicated even now. The book distribution score of 1976, at 1 year distribution score, has not been broken till now. The number of devotees 100 times increased. Number of temples which we have has increased more than 10 times. There are 108 centers at the time, now there are more than 1,500 centers. Right? Number of devotees has increased a lot. So many centers and so many devotees combined together, unable to beat the score of 1976. Imagine what kind of inspiration, what kind of enthusiasm they had. So it is because of Prabhupada's strong preaching, urgent. When you hear Prabhupada lecture, you can feel that urgency. You can feel that urgency. Prabhupada never spoke anything casual. He spoke with urgency. Do it now. Do it intensely. Do it fast. Double it. Such kind of words Prabhupada used to use. He was never satisfied with slow pace, fast pace. Very, very fast Prabhupada expanded. So, Narada was serious, but Prachini Parishad was not so serious. So, Narada spent more time and then explained very patiently. So now Vidura wanted again to hear about Prachini Parishad's sons, and he was especially inquisitive to know what they achieved by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here the word Siddhi Mapuhu or achieved perfection are very important. So what is this Siddhi? Siddhi is nothing but attaining the spiritual world. Right? Sam Siddhim Paramam Gataha. Prabhupada connects this current Bhagavatam verse to this verse in Bhagavad Gita. 8.15 Sam Siddhim Paramam Gataha, the ultimate perfection, which is going back home, back to what? Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam Napnumanti Mahatmanaha Sam Siddhim Paramam Gataha. So that the highest perfection one should go to. So the highest perfection is to return home back to Godhead, so that one will not have to return to this material world and transmigrate from one body to another in the dream of material existence. So this material world is like a dream. The soul who is sleeping identifies with this body. The soul in ignorance thinks that I am this body. Just like when we sleep, we think of something else. I am a king or I am so and so. Similarly, the soul is now dreaming. And for some time he will dream that I am engineer or a student. Right? The next life he will dream he is a dog or a cat. Another life he will dream I am a bird or I am aquatic. So in this way the dream is continuing. So, by the grace of Lord Shiva, the Prachetas actually attained perfection and returned home back to Godhead after enjoying material facilities to the highest extent. Maitreya will now narrate that to Vidura. Actually, the Prachetas took darshan of the Lord, then they were given the service of taking care of this kingdom. So they became the kings of the entire world. They enjoyed the highest level of material pleasures also. And then at the end, they gave up everything and went back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna doesn't deprive devotee of anything. Right? He gives whatever is needed. He gives it in such a way that the devotee will never hanker for it again. Right? Satyam dishati arthitam arthito nrinam naivarthadoyat punararthithayata. Fifth canto Srimad Bhagavatam says that if devotee comes to Krishna with any material benediction, then Krishna doesn't say no. He fulfills it, but he fulfills it at the right time in such a way that the devotee will say, I don't want it again. Never again. That's how Krishna will give. Nayavartha doyat punararthithayata. Right? Then he says, Bhajatam anichatam ichhapidanam nijapada pallavam. And along with giving that material benediction, he also gives the service to his lotus feet. But after tasting the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, the devotee says, Bas, aur kuch nahi chahiye. Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom greater than Brahma. The Lord fulfilled it in such a way that Dhruva said, no, this is all broken pieces of glass. I have found a diamond of Lord Vishnu. I don't need anything else. But still Dhruva was given the Dhruva Loka. Of course, he was given the kingdom of earth for a long time. And after ruling the earth for a long time, then he went to Dhruva Loka, which is nothing but spiritual world. So in this way, devotee of the Lord is not deprived of material pleasure nor spiritual pleasure. But he knows how to engage the material objects in Krishna's service, so he doesn't get entangled. Okay, so that's why Krishna gives material things also. And he also gives spiritual ecstasies of going back home, back to Godhead. So both the things devotee gets from Krishna. So tomorrow onwards we will see the story of Prachetas. Okay, Hare Krishna. I'll pause here. Any questions or comments? Yes. Prasanna Guru.
From physical
Hmm. In connection to Daksha's sons? Yeah. They were detached, but Daksha was feeling they are not experienced enough. Internal detachment has not developed. So that's what is telling. So, actually, the most important is the internal detachment. Because if there is internal detachment, then he doesn't feel attachment also, even if there is an object of enjoyment. So the internal thing is the most important. But for internal thing to come may take time. So that at least external thing we have to follow. That's why the initiation was we say no. At least grossly I will not do these four things. No meditating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Right? चार नियम पालन करेंगे. Right? पाप नहीं करेंगे. Although the desire may be there in the heart. And Krishna says that is called mithyachari. Right? What is that verse in 3rd chapter of Gita? He says that no, he has given up. Mithyacharasa uchate. Indriyarthan vimudhatma. Mithyacharasa uchate, he says. Right? He has restrained himself from sense objects, but the desire to enjoy is there in the heart. And is pretending to be a yogi. So such a person is called as mithyachari. So now we may be externally detached. Internal detachment may not have come. So one should be honest. Okay, I am not pure. I am not such advanced pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. But I am struggling. I am overcoming. I am serious. Right? So then Krishna will help, and then the internally also one becomes detached. So it's a process. But then the Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that actually the process of detachment begins from senses. Tasmat tvam indriyanyado niyamya bharatarshava papmanam prajahiyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. 3rd chapter at the end, Arjuna asked the question, why people commit sinful activities? And Krishna said it is because of kama arising from rajaguna. Kamesha, krodesha, rajaguna samudva. And Arjuna asked, how can I control this kama? Then Krishna said, yes, kama is sitting in 3 places. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhisthana uchate. It is staying in 3 places, in senses, the mind and intelligence. Then Arjuna may be thinking, okay, so I should begin from intelligence first? No, begin from senses first. He says. Tasmat tvam indriyani ado. At least external contact with sense object should not be there. So then, like for example, if there is virus going around, we put mask here externally. Then we take vaccine inside. Both will work as a combination. We should put the mask so that more virus doesn't enter. Then we should take vaccine so that internally there is fighting going on. Similarly, one should put boundaries so that there is limited interaction with sense objects or no interaction with sense objects. Then one should take the vaccine of Hare Krishna. Both. So that's why one should follow the regulatory principles which are like external features of detachment. Then one should follow the process of Shravanam Kirtana, which will develop attachment to Krishna, which acts like a vaccine against those material attachments. So then the senses will become so pure that they will not demand any sense objects. Right? So there's a verse where Prabhupada Saraswati says that when I chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, right? Cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita kyad vyamritehi krishneti varnadvai. Rupa Goswami is glorifying the holy name. He says that when I chant Hare Krishna, Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanate Tundavali Labdhe, I feel as if I should have millions of years. Karana Krodh Kadambini Gatete Karana. When I speak, I feel as I should have millions of tongues. When I hear, I should have crores of ears. And then when it enters into my heart, Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim, when the holy name enters into the heart and dances in my heart, all my senses become inert. Right? Materially inert, but spiritually active. So that's the experience of Rupa Goswami. Now we are in the stage we are struggling to chant. So, affect us, yes. Yeah, the poisonous fangs have to be removed. Durdantendriya kala sarpapatali protkhat damstrayate. That's another verse. Prabodhananda Saraswati said, when I chant the holy name, when I get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's as if my senses have become fangless. Fangs are removed, so the senses are not at all harmful. But in a conditioned stage, when the desire to enjoy is there in the senses, they are harmful. So that's why one should follow rules and regulations and sistachar, sadachar, that is required. So otherwise, poison may affect us. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing the topic. We'll end here. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.